Hey everybody, welcome back to the Amanda Day Show. So today I'm going to do the recipe of the month. And if you don't know what the recipe of the month is, that probably means you're not on our newsletter. So my husband, Andy, is a third-generation realtor, and I'm a mortgage consultant. And so one of the things we do to help out our clients is put on a newsletter every month. And this has really great advice about what the market's doing, or more, if you have mortgage-related questions, we answer them, along with, of course, great recipes. And if you want to be a part of the newsletter, just email us at aroot@fortiva.com, or of course you can check out our website, fortiva.com, or check us out on Facebook. Today I'm going to make something that I really love. As a lot of you know, I lived in Turkey for a while, and something we ate a lot was Turkish köfte, which is Turkish meatballs. Basically, I have about 2.5 pounds of fairly lean ground beef. Sometimes I like to use a mixture of ground beef and ground lamb. That's really good, but only have ground beef this time. To that, I'm going to add about 4 cloves of minced garlic. And I know that's a lot, but that's what these flavors are. So, about 4 cloves of that. I'm also going to add a bunch of chopped scallions. And I like scallions rather than onions because onions can sometimes give you, a really strong flavor, and scallions are a little bit lighter and milder in flavor. Of course, to that, I'm going to add some cumin. And I'm actually putting in about 1.5 tablespoons of the cumin. And that is going to give you that really authentic, traditional Middle Eastern flavor. I'm also going to add some really spicy chili powder. It's about 1/8 of a teaspoon. And this is really spicy. I would prefer more, but since there are other, I'm going to do 2. Since there are other people eating this, I'm not going to do a whole lot more. You want a lot of freshly ground black pepper. This is going to give it a nice little spiciness, a little kick to it. And then, of course, a good bit of salt. And I like the taste of sea salt, but of course, if you want, sometimes I put a smoked salt in there. That's really good too. And actually a tiny bit of turmeric. So we don't want to that's way too much. We don't want to overwhelm the flavor of it, but I want to give it a little bit of that good Middle Eastern flavor. And then, take off wedding ring. I'm just going to use my hands and really mix this in together. And the cumin is what's going to give you that yummy, authentic flavor. What I'm going to do when I come back is form these into footballs, which is why I decided I wanted to make it on, the biggest football day of the year, Super Bowl. So when I come back, I will start forming them into football shapes and show you how we cook them. Okay, so once you have that fully mixed in, then you want to put in about 1/2 cup of flat leaf parsley. And of course, if you have curly parsley in the pantry, you can of course use that. But flat leaf parsley is a little bit more of an authentic flavor. So you just want to get that really well minced. And then we're going to integrate that into the meat mixture again. So I'm just going to put that in there. And I won't bore you with mixing it again, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, so the next thing you do is form these. And like if you were doing meatballs, they're going to be a little bit bigger than that. About the same size as if you were doing, hamburger sliders, something like that. And we're going to roll them and kind of cup your hands like this so that they come out looking like a football. And there's a couple ways that you can make these. What I like best is actually to barbecue them. It gets a really nice smoky flavor. But since it's, negative 27 degrees in Minnesota right now, well, not, but really, almost. I am going to bake these in the oven. Obviously, you want them to be a uniform size so that they'll bake at the same rate. And I'm going to bake them. You can also put them on the skillet too if you want to do them. Just fry them up in a little bit of olive oil. But I'm going to bake them at 375. I think it'll probably take about 25 minutes, but we'll have to check midway. So I'm going to continue to form these, and I will pop them in the oven, and then I'll just come back with you guys when they're done. Okay, so while my köfte, the Turkish meatballs, are in the oven cooking, there are 2 sauces that I really like to serve with it. This is really going to differentiate it from, just a Middle Eastern meatball. One of the sauces is a tomato sauce. The other one is your more traditional garlic tzatziki sauce. So what I'm doing here is I've heated up some olive oil, about a tablespoon of olive oil, and I'm going to add the rest of my minced garlic. There's probably about 3 cloves in here. So we're going to get that nice and cooked through, and that's really going to infuse the oil with the flavor of the garlic as well. Biggest thing to remember, do not scorch your garlic. The minute that it burns, it gets very, very bitter. What I'm going to add to that is some very basic tomato sauce, like a pasta sauce, but you can add crushed tomatoes if you want that too, but more of a puree is kind of what you're looking for as far as the consistency. So I'm going to go ahead and love that sound, pour that in, probably half of that, and mix that up. To this I'm going to add cumin, and that is really kind of the basis of your sauce. You don't need a whole lot. Your kofta that you've made, the meatballs, already have a ton of flavor. So the next thing I'm going to make, I'm going to let this heat through for about 15 minutes so the flavors really, really come together. A little bit of pepper in there, is tzatziki sauce. A lot of people, you know, think, oh, what is that? The best kind of garlic to use is the Greek style garlic. You want it really, really thick. I don't have that right now, so I'm using a whole milk yogurt, obviously non-flavored yogurt. And it's really important to use the whole milk one. The skim milk just does not taste great. I'm going to pour off a little of that liquid. And we're going to use a lot because I really love this flavor. And to this, I am going to add some more minced garlic and some parsley and some lemon. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Alright, so last thing, put everything together. You can see I have the kofta out of the oven. And I like mine with a lot of meat, so I'm going to put 3 on. And then just take some of your delicious tomato sauce and pour that on the top. I always love to add greens. I think it adds a real brightness to the dish. And I'm just using a mixed green, you know, that you can get anywhere. And then, of course, your tzatziki sauce, which I put the garlic in and the flat leaf parsley and salt. Biggest thing to remember in this, make sure it can sit in the fridge for an hour for the garlic to really get infused into the yogurt sauce. And then I'm just going to put that on top. And you have a very happy and unusual sandwich. How good does that look? So be sure to stay tuned because the next episode I'm going to do is baklava, which of course goes perfectly with a kofta sandwich. Goodbye, kiss.